Hey there and welcome back to Northwest Craftsman. Today we're going to be doing a quick episode on how to use a Tenon saw. I just recently got one for Christmas and hadn't had a chance to break it out, and when I first started using it, boy was I having a hard time getting it up and running and just using it well. But I learned a couple of tricks in the last couple of days and I wanted to share them with you so that you can get up and running with your Tenon saw sooner. So first off, the saw that I got is a 12-inch crown Tenon saw. You can find a link to this in the description, and it was recommended by Paul Sellers as a Tenon saw. And what makes Tenon saws special is this nice piece of brass up here that keeps everything rigid, so the whole blade stays rigid. Now, one of the differences between this and one of the saws that I generally use regularly is that this is a push saw, while most of the saws that I have right now are Japanese pole saws, which means that this one cuts on the push stroke rather than the Japanese pole saw, which cuts on the pull stroke. Now, that creates kind of an issue when you're trying to go to cut different pieces or different aspects of your work pieces because it requires a slightly different strategy. So here's what I learned. All right, so the first step and the first thing that I learned is that you really want to try and have a looser grip on your Tenon saw. So on the Japanese pole saw, you can hold onto it pretty tight and it doesn't bind up because you're cutting on the pull stroke. But on this guy, the tighter you hold onto it and the more that you're trying to dig into the wood, the harder it's going to be to cut because your teeth will just sink into it. And perhaps it's because I'm working with soft pine, but it sinks in a lot more, and I found that it cuts a lot looser if you just let it rest into your hand and then just let the saw do the work as you're going through it. The second thing that I learned is that on a Japanese pole saw, I generally start on the corner and pull it up like this. But I have found that on my Tenon saw, it's a lot more difficult to start when I try on a corner, and so if you rest across the entire surface, it allows you to start it nice and evenly all the way through. And this is where the next step comes in really important. You want to use your thumb and pointer finger to provide a resting place right here, and use your fingernails on the tip, and allows you to line up right on the inside, and that's key. You want to be inside of your line. Put your fingernails there and then slowly go back and forth on it. And then once you're started, you can just carry it through. And that's it. The four things that you want to do are hold it loosely, cut parallel with the edge of your workpiece, not starting from a corner. Use your thumb and pointer fingernails to hold it in the right place when you're starting it, and then always, always, always make sure to cut just inside of your knife line, and then you can go back with your chisel and get it to exactly the dimensions you want. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section down below, and if you like these kind of videos, we'd love it if you could subscribe. Awesome. Thank you guys very much. Stay safe and have a great weekend. Bye.